Hi. I heard you weren't talking to the last person who questioned you. I get it. So I assume you're afraid you're going to incriminate yourself. And you've probably been told to remain quiet. Like I said, I get it. I understand. Completely. That's your right. You don't have to say anything. You can just listen to me, and I'll do the talking. I want you to know that I'm not a cop. I'm a psychologist, so there's a lot I can tell just from body language. It's okay. You don't have to be worried or stressed. You can just sit there. You don't have to talk. You don't have to say anything. I mean, it's not like I can read your mind or anything, so you're safe, right? But see, the thing is, I'm not one of these cops that's just here for a confession, right? That's kind of boring. I'm here to get into the minds of the people that I talk to, because then I get more than a confession. I want to understand people's motivations, what makes them tick, what's going on behind the eyes, up here, you know? You don't have to say anything. Just listen, focus on me when I'm talking to you, and that's all I need. It makes it easier for the transcriber, right? Because you haven't said a word this whole time. You haven't given us anything to work with. So you're doing exactly what you plan to do. Of course, the silent treatment's working, isn't it? Would you say? So like I said, I'm, not here just for a confession or to ask you a bunch of questions, but if I was to ask you questions, maybe I would start with, were you at the crime scene on the night of the incident? Ah, see? You didn't say anything, per se, but your lips trembled. And that's a giveaway. That's a physical confession. So if I was to ask you whether you were in any way part of this crime, and there we have it. Your eyes, they flickered away. And there's another physical confession. See, I don't need you to talk. It's easy. And maybe I'd follow up with another question. Maybe I'd ask you if you knew the victim. And the third, tell. Your jaw juts out a little bit. It's minor, it's small, but I guess we're trained to pick it up. So you haven't said anything, but you have. You can try and play that game if you want to. The not talking and the silent treatment and the I don't know what's going on, but we don't always confess verbally. And, well, body language gives away a lot. It does, unfortunately, for you. So, even though you haven't said anything about the night, the incident, or anything like that, I can tell stuff. Because your body was never taught to lie. So I can tell from the way that you hold your jaw, the way that ever since I've sat here, your eyes have flitted away whenever I've got to asking you about this incident. The way you're swallowing, everything. It's all one beautiful physical confession. So eventually I need verbal and written, but I've definitely got the physical. See? Right there. You looked away again. And the thing is, even if you're trying to forget or you don't remember, your body remembers. Your body wasn't taught to forget either. Your hands remember what you were doing that day, that night. Your mouth remembers what you said. Your brain remembers. And they're all manifested in your body language. And the way you're presenting yourself to me right now, and the way that you just looked away again. And look, if it's hard to make eye contact, you can just watch my finger. And you see, we all have these giveaways. These things our body does because we haven't taught our body how to lie. And just thinking about it, it must feel really heavy. Carrying that, and with your body not knowing how to lie eventually. You're going to want to tell someone, and your body's going to give you away. It would weigh you down, right? That's got to be heavy. Weighing you down on your mind, your body. It's heavy. So heavy. I can't imagine it must be such a burden carrying all of that, right? I mean, you must just want to tell somebody. I would want to tell somebody. Anybody else in your position would want to tell somebody. So now I've got everything except the verbal confession. You know, your eyes, your hands, your jaw, your swallowing, everything is telling me, is giving me that confession. So your body hasn't learnt how to lie and has given you away. I just don't have a verbal one. It's not hard though. And you know, your body's giving you away without you having to say one word. So now that I have a physical confession, I mean, technically I need the verbal and then the written and all that boring stuff, but I've got the physical. And the good thing is that we have time. So much time. I can wait. Imagine this is a clock. It's just ticking round and round and round, and we have time. So just imagine the sound of a clock just going tick, tock, tick, tock. So much time. You know, imagining this clock and the time going by, I wonder how many times your body is gonna confess to me while the clock's going around. Because it's happened enough times already. You know, you could save us some time. A lot of time, actually, if you just nod your head when I ask you the questions. Because, you know, you're not talking, per se. So just imagine the tick-tock, right? And every time I ask you something, just nod your head. Simple. Or we can just blur the line, you know, between a verbal confession and an action confession. Because remember, your body doesn't know how to lie. It responds, you know, automatically without you even having to think. So when I ask you if you were there that night, yes, very good. And if I ask you, was there anyone else there with you? Good. Perfect. And if I ask you if you committed a crime, good. Good. Perfect. And God, if I was to ask you whether you did it because you were jealous, you would say, yes, exactly. You would just keep nodding. Whenever the answer is yes, you just nod. It's just that easy. And if I was to then ask you to give me a written confession, which we now need, you would nod yes. Good. So why don't we just do that right now? Good. Very, very good. And, you know, you haven't said a word, so obviously none of these techniques have worked on you. So, you can just completely forget about this interaction even happening. Everything that you did was of your own free will. So no psychological techniques were used to get a confession out of you. And you will remember this fact when you are later questioned about this. But for now, you'll forget about me coming in here and talking to you, and you'll just remember me as the person who brought the coffee for the other detective that you talked to. Okay? Good. And this is going to happen in 1, 2, 3.